Looking for a motion to approve today's agenda. Moved by Bear, supported by Walls. Any discussion, additions, deletions? Seeing none, all in favor, say aye. All opposed, passes unanimously. Takes us to item 3, first opportunity for public comment. Is there any public comment? Any public comment? Last opportunity for public comment. Seeing none, public comment is closed. Takes us to item 4A. Be looking for a motion to approve last meeting's minutes. Moved by Bear, supported by Walls. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye. All opposed, passes unanimously. Takes us to item B, Sheriff Police Vehicle Replacement Purchase. Sheriff is here. Morning, Sheriff Schutte.
Good morning. So this is another vehicle that was damaged in a traffic crash here just recently, and I spoke with Commissioner Bear here just a moment ago. This is the one that I sent you the photographs on in that email that was hit on I-94 during the policing of an accident. So 2022 Dodge Durango, and we're looking to replace it with a new Dodge not Dodge Durango, Dodge Challenger, and we're looking to replace it with the same vehicle. I think it's the Durango is what we have to replace it with because they don't make the Charger anymore. So the difference in the price is $25,000 from what we received from the insurance company, but we do have that budgeted, so it shouldn't be an issue for us budget-wise.
Commissioners, any questions? Seeing none, this would be an action item, correct? I'll be looking for a motion to approve. Moved by Bear, supported by Walls. Any discussion? Seeing none, if you could post a vote, please. What are you waiting on? I had to do it twice. I don't know why. Yeah.
Motion passes unanimously.
Thank you. Double click. Yeah, all right. Item 4C, Sheriff Amendment Agreement with Smart Communications.
Yes, if you'll recall, back in 2021, we signed this original agreement with Smart Communications, going away from Securus, which was our technology and our phone provider. Smart Communications gave us a deal where they provide us with $300,000 a year in monies that are collected as a result of different items that are purchased by the inmates through Smart Communications. Those items include phone calls and video calls and text messaging and things of that nature. We were kind of ahead of the curve then, and we went from what I thought were exorbitant fees for phone calls, somewhere in the neighborhood of $1.50 to $1.70 on average per minute, to just under 25 cents a minute. I think we went to 19 cents a minute eventually. It was kind of a gradual scale, if I recall correctly. So anyway, I tell you that just to give you a little bit of history here. Then Smart Communications came in and put all of their technology in to our jail so that we can monitor the phone calls and monitor the system. For whatever reason, the FCC has made a determination that our commissary funds that we are getting from that, which are movies that are purchased, additional streaming that is purchased by the inmate during the course of their stay in the jail, is into a federal nexus now. So therefore, they've determined that we can't collect monies over and above on that. And it's kind of been a unilateral decision as far as I'm concerned. I don't agree with it. I am 100% against it. And we've been working with Smart Communications for now about a year and a half to try and get this remedied. They've been fantastic to work with. The problem is we just come running into a roadblock with the law. And now the law is coming up to be enforced April 1st. So it necessitates us to have to do this amendment to the contract. And this is a request to extend the current contract with these provisions amended in it. Essentially does away with the $300,000 and replaces it with a couple of other key things. One of those things is $2,500 a month. That's 10% of what we were collecting, which was $25,000 a month. But that's guaranteed. And then in addition to that, we would get a commission based on a couple of things that aren't being touched by the FCC, and a greater commission. We don't know what that's going to look like in the end, and my guess is it's probably going to vary from month to month to some degree anyway, but I certainly don't believe it's going to raise to the $25,000 mark. But like again, Smart has been a great partner for us. Just some of the technologies that they provide us that costs us nothing is the recording of all of our phone calls, all of our interactions by inmates with others outside, and that recording is kept for up to 3 years. They have voice imprint technology, so if somebody tries to use another person's account, their voice is now is able to be determined as far as to who they are, and we know that differentiates from it, and we can take action against that. There's a ton of other things I won't go into that they've provided us to allow us to have a secured environment as well. So I just wanted to give you a little bit of background on this and then kind of explain to you why we're coming forward, why that change has happened. And one thing that I will leave you with as well is this is being fought in court. And I've had communications with the National Sheriff's Association as well as the Michigan Sheriff's Association on this, because this is a fight on the national level to get this done. And I don't see legally that they can do this because I don't think there's a federal nexus. And I think that it will return. Smart Communications understands that as well. And there's a provision inside this amended contract that allows us to renegotiate those terms to get that money back once that is overturned, as I believe it will be. So this is cleanup. It has to be done by April 1st, and that's why I brought it to you today.
Committee members, any questions? Seeing none, I'd be looking for a motion to forward to the full board with recommendation of approval. Moved by Bear, supported by Walls. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed, passes unanimously. Thank you, Sheriff.
Thank you very much.
Takes us to item 4D, friend of the court. Sarah is here today. Good morning, Sarah.
Good morning, everyone. I'm a little under the weather, so I will try to speak up, but I wasn't going to miss you guys. My presentation today focusing on the end of our fiscal year and our federal performance factors. You can see in the document I have the state performance factors on the left-hand side and then our Jackson County performance factors on the right-hand side. The green is an indicator that we met the federal goal. The red means that, of course, we didn't, and that the gray is more that we were on track, almost close, and received the most amount of funding that we could. I like to compare with the state because I'm competitive and I want to be better than everybody else. And so that gives me a good indicator. The cost effectiveness is the only one that we were not succeeding on the state level for. And I already, with the reorganization that I came before you with, I think it was a month or so ago, and then some changes that we made, I suspect that we will be above that on that one. So that I believe I have in place. And then moving on to say, okay, so how do we do against the state? How do we do against like-sized counties? So these break down those individual metrics based on like-sized counties. And these are all counties that have caseloads within 5,000 of us. And you can see that with support order percentage ranking, we're down towards the lowest, which we've always been working towards. That one has been a tough one because we're working towards right-sizing orders and making sure that we're meeting people where they are at with their ability to pay their child support. The paternity ranking, that's, again, making sure that when we have open cases, we have fathers, DNA tests, making sure that, dads are associated with their cases, that they have rights to their children. You'll note some people say, well, how is it 102% for Ottawa County? There's usually a rush of cases that come in towards the end of the fiscal year, but then they don't get counted until the next year. So technically they're over on that. Or they might do some case cleanup and it closes out a bunch of cases, which means that they're over and above. The current support, that's collecting the current support. We're right middle of the pack on that, which compared to Ottawa and Washtenaw County, I'm pretty proud of. And then the arrears case percentage, that's collecting old child support that's due, we're right in the middle of the pack there. And again, some cost effectiveness, we're right in the middle of the pack with that. Strategies for the continuing improvement. Like we talked about, we're going to keep working on right-sizing orders. We have the GEMS program, which is we are the second wave of this program through the state. It's gain employment, maintain support, and it's a collaboration with Michigan Works. Non-custodial parents or payers of support that need education, work assistance, resume assistance, assistance with finding transportation, getting suits, all of it, or dress clothes for work, work with this program. We now have, there's a little pause, everything got shut down for a minute, but now that the program is back in action, we now have 2 success stories through there, and it's a really great program. So if somebody wants to better themselves, wants to get employment, that is the program. And we can either court order them and compel them to participate in it, or they can contact our office and then we can just connect them with that. So that's a great program. The My Support two-way communication, we're trying to work with them, with our customer service unit, because nobody likes to talk on the phone anymore. So it's allowing us to do text communication with clients so they don't, similar to any kind of customer service, you get the bot that comes up and how can I help you, that kind of thing, and we can communicate with our clients that way. Arrears forgiveness and payment plans. A lot of the debt that's due the state of Michigan, the state is willing to negotiate on that. So somebody that maybe doesn't have the ability to pay because at one point in time it was charging appropriately and maybe their life circumstances have changed and they can't pay that support. If the money is due the state of Michigan, they will forgive that amount because they understand that they can't pay it now because something has changed in their world. And then some regional outreach with the non-compliant cases. So we're working with our community partners in Lansing and Washtenaw County to try to get some cross work there, going out into the field, reaching out to parents, trying to get the compliance, especially in cases that maybe are on our border counties. So, any questions about any of that?
Committee members, any questions?
No? All right, thank you.
Thank you. Be looking for a motion to receive the report. Moved by Walls, supported by Bear. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye. All opposed, that passes unanimously. Takes us to item E, the Youth Center Semi-Annual Report. Mr. Baker, good morning, sir.
Morning, Commissioners. Mr. Overton. Good morning. So this is a few brief updates from the Youth Center. We've been working on programming with, we've been partnering with the court prosecutor's office and the city's group violence initiative out of the city to implement an early intervention program for youth that are carrying guns, hopefully before they start firing those weapons. So that would be incorporated into our residential programs that we currently offer at the Youth Center, but we would just kind of make that a specialty type of program. We're also working with Henry Ford Hospital in terms of having those kids meet with a trauma surgeon and go through some programming through the hospital to have a better understanding of the physical impact of gun violence. And then also, as through the GVI program, they would be meeting with the mother of a victim of a juvenile that was lost to gun violence, to understand more of the social context of how that gun violence impacts our communities. In terms of staffing at the Youth Center, we had a good run for about 6 months that we were pretty stable, but I think we've lost a few people in the last few weeks. In the report here, I indicated we had 3 vacant positions and 1 on long-term medical leave. We've had 2 more part-timers since the writing of this report that have resigned. So we are in recruiting, hiring, and training mode once again. Current census at the youth center, the report says 24. We actually have 26 kids in custody today. Had quite a few of them that are being charged as adults, with 5 of them in custody, long-term, waiting for adult court processes to happen and placement. And then the last thing that I have is the admission assessment. Last year, the state required detention centers to begin using the Michigan Juvenile Justice Assessment System to inform decisions on which kids would be lodged. We are continuing to use our local risk assessment instrument that we've used for many years, frankly, because we don't see a lot of value in the state assessment. The state has already kind of taken an RFP on changing to a different assessment. Last thing is, we're just meeting with that same group of court prosecutors and probation to look at our current RAI risk assessment process, and we update that every couple of years to make sure that it's working as it needs to and is responsive to community needs.
Committee members, any questions? Commissioner Bear, and then we'll come to Chairman Shotwell.
Thank you. Your first bullet point here, partnering with the Youth Court, Prosecutor's Office, the City Group Violence Intervention Program. How many different sources of funding do you receive?
I guess specific to these programs,
No, just overall. What's your funding source?
the child care fund through the state and the county,
The county.
yes.
So you're funded through the county millage.
No, it's through the child care fund primarily.
Does the city contribute any money to the operation of the Jackson County Youth Center?
Not to the operation of the Jackson County Youth Center, but they do pay for the staff that are operating the GVI program, in which we're partnering with.
They do pay for the staff that
They
operate
pay for that
program.
individual, yes.
Okay. If it's a county agency and a county facility, I would like to see less input from the city. Commingling responsibilities, commingling funds, to me never leads to a good outcome. If it's a county facility, county staff, it should be county decisions.
Right.
To me, if the city wants to have a voice in the game, then they need to put some money in the game, more than just paying their own personal staff.
Right.
So I, for one, would like to see less city involvement in a county agency.
I can understand that. Unfortunately, where we're seeing a lot of that gun violence is in the city. And at the youth center, we do have to detain kids from throughout the entire county, including the city.
Or maybe the city should have their own youth center
No.
and pay for that.
Okay, Commissioner Bear, Mr. Baker doesn't really have control over the way the system's set up, but your points are duly noted. If you don't mind, can we move on to Chairman Shotwell?
The GVI offender says you met with the mother of the victim. Is there no father of the victim around?
GVI has that relationship. I'm not sure if a father is involved with that family or not. She's only spoken to the mother, so I would assume the father's not involved.
Okay, because wherever possible, both parents should be involved in that.
Absolutely.
And again, that's the city's agency there. Okay, thank you.
Welcome.
Thank you, Commissioner Bear. Chairman Shotwell.
Good afternoon, or morning.
Good morning.
Thank your staff for all the hard work they do and everything they have to deal with. One, but two, in the past, we were dealing with an age variance where we weren't able to lock up juveniles that were as violent as adult criminals, and we had adult criminals that were kind of in that gray zone, 17, 18-year-old. How is that impacting the juvenile home at this time, and are you able to still separate that population?
No, we are currently licensed for 11-year-olds to 17-year-olds. And anytime a resident is lodged in our facility, they're housed in separate rooms, so they don't commingle after sleeping hours, but during the day they do.
Now, also on that, we've had incidents in the past where there's been no room in the jail, literally. Have we overcome a lot of those with new thought patterns? I heard you say that we were at 24, but now we're at 26. Does that
Right.
cause double housing or
It does
any
not.
problems like that?
It does not. Operationally, I have staff to operate 36 beds in the facility. Those beds are not all full. If I was at full capacity, we would have 36 beds. Currently, just being down staff, we don't ever turn kids away for not having staff, but if we work with the court to identify other kids, maybe that could be released. Thank you very much. You're welcome. Anything else?
Commissioner Walls.
I'm just curious about the admission assessment coming from a nursing background.
Mm-hmm.
Is our local risk assessment instrument a little more stringent than the state?
It's much more comprehensive, yes. It looks into much more individual, specific details about the individual. The state assessment is literally a 6-question quiz that we don't get a whole lot from.
Well, thank you for using the more comprehensive.
Right. Well, we use both because the state requires us to use the state one, but we just rely more so on our local. Thank you.
Just one question.
Yeah.
The positions you're looking to fill, if commissioners can help you out and post them, what are they?
So I have a second shift supervisor. I have 2 full-time second shift youth specialists, and then 2 third shift part-time youth specialists. It's always the night shift, second and thirds.
And I would assume the first one obviously probably you need a college degree, right?
Correct.
How about
correct.
the second two? Are they,
Second 2 require 30 college credits or 2 years of experience working in a detention-type child caring facility.
okay, thanks.
Absolutely, thank you.
Be looking for a motion to receive the report. Moved by Bear, supported by Walls. All in favor, say aye. All opposed, that passes unanimously. Takes us to, where did I go? Item F, 911 Central Dispatch. Jason is here today. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, everybody. So what I have before you is a staff report. Most being requested is to approve a resolution of support for a community project through the Federal Appropriations Committee, Gary Peters and Tim Wahlberg. What this project is about radios for law enforcement and firefighters. A total of 641 radios, costing about $4.3 million. This gives the encryption that is needed for law enforcement by July of 27. And then also the end of life for the radios, which is 2030.
Committee members, any questions? Commissioner Bear.
Thank you. Morning. I'm sure you're aware that at the township supervisors meetings, the need for these radios has been discussed a lot. They set up a work group that came up with a list of needs, and so I'm just curious, these documents, this information, have you shared that with the supervisors subgroup that did the investigation into the need of the radios?
I have not. The only people I've shared it with is Chris Simpson, Sheriff Gary Schutte, and Greg Bigford from Napoleon Fire Department.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, sir.
It'd be premature for us to share with those townships until we get the grant. Would that be?
I would say so, but
Yeah.
I leave that up to you guys.
We can talk about the resolution, but how confident are you that you think we'll?
All depends.
Yeah. Yeah, okay. All right, any other questions? If not, I'd be looking for a motion to forward to the full board with recommendation of approval. Moved by Bear, supported by Walls. Any discussion? Seeing none, if you could please post the vote. It's okay. Are you a yes? Okay. Passes unanimously. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Yep. Takes us to item G, the public defender. Oh, he's running late. We will come back to that. We'll move on to item H, the airport semi-annual report. And Ms. Juan is here, Mr. Zapata. Good morning.
Good morning, Chairman Kennedy. Good morning, everyone. The semi-annual report for the airport, airport's operating healthy. And if I'm not sure if we're going to be able to do the PowerPoint. Aiden, will that be a possibility? But we broke over 43,000 operations in 2025. Just to give you an idea, those were more operations than Saginaw MBS or Muskegon or Lansing. So we're conducting quite a bit of operations. What we are lacking a little bit in is the fact that we don't have air carrier service from Jackson for our residents. And that's something that we're continuously trying to get, is how do we get the airlines to start operating out of Jackson again. If we go to slide number 3, we can look at our economic benefit assessment that was just completed by MDOT Aeronautics. And just a quick summary on that. The airport contributes to over 300 jobs locally, and we had over $70 million in economic impact. And those are basically all the businesses, not just located at the airport, but that are affected by the operations of the airport. And that's something that will continue to grow on an annual basis. And it has been growing from the last report we had was in 2023, and we had about $43 million in 2023. So that continues to grow quite a bit. If we go to the next slide, the solar panels, it took about a year and a few months to get them approved by Consumers Energy, but in December of 2025, we finally got the switch turned on and we've started to see some savings. This is one of those things that not only gives the image of the airport as being a green airport, which is good for the federal government, but also it's going to save us some money on our electric bills. And we expect that to be about $15,000 or so every year. So that's really a good plus for the airport. At the next slide, it's a photo of the EAA Pancake Breakfast. And we have 2 big events at the airport that are open to the public. That's the Pancake Breakfast, which for 2026 will be on Sunday, May 24th, and the Airport Open House, which is on September 12th. And this is those type of events that we bring in the public, the general public, to come in, take a look at what they have, what their tax money's paying, and we primarily like to focus on the families, the young kids, the future of aviation, and that's something that we did. For the Pancake Breakfast, we had over 2,000 people, nearly 2,000 people show up and have breakfast and look at the airplanes. And for the open house, it was close to 3,000 people, and they had live music, and they had airplane rides. They had rides for the little ones. And most of those things are free. So we focus on the fact that we want to not only have a free attendance, but also individuals are able to come into the airport and not have to spend a lot of money to have a good time. The photo there is the naming of the terminal building, and Robert Jordan is the individual that started the main business on the airport back in 1961. And this is the business known as an FBO, fixed base operation, and they put the red carpet out for all the corporate aircraft that come to the airport. So over the years, this particular business has allowed us to really welcome business aviation into the community. and for individuals from our community to be able to fly out of the Jackson Airport by using a corporate aircraft. So it's really important that we recognize that. It was recognized by both county officials as well as the state level officials. That was really nice. This is one of the projects for 2026, which is the terminal building. And we started that in January. It's in the middle of a $2.9 million rehab. And this takes a 63-year-old building and it's gonna give it a new life for the next 50 years. So we're replacing pretty much everything inside the building, from air conditioning and heating systems to the updates to the restrooms. We're gonna get new windows, a new roof, new carpeting and new flooring. And it's gonna have asbestos abatement also. So this building will really be pretty much a brand new building when we're done. Our goal right now is to be done by the open house, which is September 12th. So hopefully we'll stay on time and on a budget for that. And another project for 2026 that we started in 2025, and that is the opening of the aviation maintenance technician school. And this is one of those things that is really badly needed, not just in our community, but in the United States. The level of technicians that are being trained is been running a deficit for several years, and we're expected to have over 20% deficit by 2030 in the United States. We went out and we took a look at the program they have at Lansing Community College, and they're fully booked for this year and next year. So if you wanted to start training as a technician at Lansing Community College, you have to wait until August of 2028 at a wonderful rate of $43,000 for their program. Our program is going to be free to high school students, and it's going to be a $30,000 intensive program for adults that will be 5 days a week, 7 hours a day, and they'll be done in 13 months. So that will be the fastest completion time in the state. It is a program that has been recently approved by the FAA. We're still waiting for approval for the actual certification so we can start teaching. And we're still in the process of gathering some of the items that we need to get certified. So that's one of the main reasons we're delaying the start of this program until next year sometime. But we expect this to be a highly successful and in a highly competitive field. And it will really provide a new trade option for our residents here in Jackson County. If we move to the next slide, and there's something that I've been pushing for the last 4 or 5 years, is the electric vertical takeoff and landing aircraft. And the reason that I push for this is because this type of aircraft will be our only option that is going to be available for us to have airline traffic from Jackson to Detroit Metro and Chicago Airport. This aircraft will carry between 6 to 10 passengers, and they will allow our local residents to come in and park in our parking lot, go through TSA, and jump in an aircraft to go to their either Detroit Metro or Chicago to continue on with their trip. This is something that we've been looking at for quite a while. We're kind of taking a little bit of a back burner approach to this right now, primarily because if you go to the next slide, the hurdles with the FAA has not been able to develop the system to allow this aircraft to start really operating in the United States yet. And they're in the process of doing that, but it's taking quite a bit longer than we expected. The first show of commercial operations will be this summer during the World Cup, and they're going to be flying air taxis from LAX and from the San Francisco airport to the stadiums where the World Cup is going to be held. And to give you an idea why this is such a critical thing to use in highly dense populations, you can take one of these aircraft, these air taxis, for about $80, and it'll take you between 10 to 20 minutes to get to your destination, which is about 25 miles away. If you take an Uber, which goes over the ground, it'll cost you about $40, about half the price, but it'll take you between 45 minutes to 90 minutes to travel that 25-mile time period. So it's really one of those things that nowadays everybody wants to be, to travel as quickly as possible and as convenient as possible. And so we really expect this vertical air taxi to really take off in the United States as the regulations start to be developed. The battery capacity is another thing that still needs to come up to speed. The capacity for the batteries are not quite there yet, but we expect that to be developed this year or our next. And that's pretty much all I had for our update. Are there any questions from any of the commissioners?
Committee members, any questions or commissioners? Commissioner Bear.
Thank you, Chairman. Good morning, Juan.
Morning, sir.
I see you're working with Jackson Community College, coordinating with them. They have some schools also relative to aircraft maintenance. Have you spoken at all with Western Michigan University? They have a large aviation repair technician school also, have you?
Yes. So the instructor that we're going to be hiring to run our school is the individual that went to Western Michigan University, and he was able to convert their 4-year program for aviation maintenance into a 2-year program, so that Western has a 2-year program. Lansing Community College also has a 2-year program for high school graduates. We're going to have a 2-year program for high school students, and we're going to have a 13-month program for adults. So to answer your question, right now we're trying to partner with Jackson College. If we're not able to partner with Jackson College, I believe that we will be able to partner with Lansing Community College. And the reason we want to partner with a college is so that the students that have to pay the $30,000 fee to attend can be eligible for the Michigan Junior College grant, so they can basically go to school for free. And for most of us to come up with $30,000 to go to school, it's a big chunk of money. So that's why we're trying to partner, and we're still in communication with Jackson College. We are going to develop the program that Jackson College can basically take it and administer, and it will be a money-producing program for them. But it's going to take some convincing for that. We're going to be scheduling the meeting with the college next week sometime. I didn't want to schedule the meeting until I have my instructor, Mike Formansky, available. He's right now working in Battle Creek on another assignment, so we'll be waiting for that. But hopefully, this program will allow us to partner with universities. The issue with Western Michigan University, Commissioner Bear, is that they will not accept transfers that are beyond the freshman year. And so the program that we have is a 2-year program, and the high school kids will have an associate's degree. Excuse me, but they will not be able to transfer to Western at this point in time. But they will be able to transfer to an online university, and we're working with other universities and see if we can make arrangements with them as well for those individuals that want to continue to get a bachelor's degree.
Okay, I appreciate that. And I ask these questions because I certainly hopefully this school is successful. That'll be great for our community. You're putting this into hangar
201.
201.
It's only a proposal right now.
I read your email. Thank you for that. On the comments, I hope we end up with a solution that's satisfactory for the people that are currently renting 201. But yes, you need that building, so I appreciate your efforts. Thank you.
No, thank you, sir.
Commissioner Walls.
Morning, Commissioner.
I'm just curious, I know you have a military background, I have a granddaughter with a military background. Do you feel like this would be helpful to those high school students who want to perhaps go into the Air Force? Would this already help them move forward in that type of a career as well?
Yes, definitely. If you enter the military with FAA licenses, which is usually what the military individuals that get trained in aircraft maintenance, before they depart the military, they go ahead and they take the equivalency test to get their civilian AMP licenses. So yeah, this will be a benefit. I would imagine that instead of coming in as an E1, you will probably enter as an E3 or maybe even as an E4 because you already have all the training. So yeah, it will be definitely an advantage for any high school student that decides to go in the military. You're welcome.
Okay, I'd be looking for a motion to receive the report. Moved by Walls, supported by Bear. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, say aye. All opposed? Passes unanimously. Thank you, Juan.
Thank you for your support.
Yep, have a great day. Takes us to the animal shelter with Lydia and her little friend.
Thank you. Good morning.
And good morning. You're gonna, okay.
Aussie, Australian Shepherd. Oh, she's cute. Medium. Lots of muscle. Lots of energy. So, hello. So I wanted to talk a little bit about our intakes. I have a actually comparison later that I will go over. But another year, a very busy year. Our transfer numbers stay about the same. Our biggest intake is owner surrenders, followed by stray animals that come in that are not claimed, most of them. 2,500 clinic services. So everything's about average there. Same with the outcomes. We're looking at over 2,900 adoptions.
I didn't see the doc, sorry. I'll babysit.
Okay, thank you. Let's see. 204 owner-requested euthanasia, 494 shelter euthanasia. Still no animals have been euthanized because they were out of space or time. So animal control, we are fully staffed with 3 full-time officers right now. We have several cruelty cases that are going through the court process and hope to see those concluded sometime this year. Bite cases, about 325. Assisting other agencies, 211. As we mentioned, that's law enforcement, fire department, those kind of actions. Our community engagement is always very busy. Our pet therapy group goes probably 2 to 3 times a week to different places. It could be senior care, school classrooms, the courthouse at the county, lots of different places that we're going. So without our volunteers, we would never be able to keep up with the demand for the pet therapy. We've been invited to go to other counties and provide that service, but obviously we're just sticking with Jackson County. And same with February, all the months were just all over the place, very busy. So we have a market event coming up in May 1st and 2nd, Artisans and Fleas. So we're having flea market type vendors, food vendors, local artists. That anyone who wants to come and peddle their wares, we'll be setting up the parking lot for them to do so and having some games for kids. We also are going to be having the grand opening of Duke's Place, which is going to be the property that we acquired last year. In conjunction with Aeroquip Credit Union, we're doing a ribbon cutting ceremony for that space. That'll be at noon on Friday, May 1st, which we will be sending out invitations for all of you to be present. We'd love to have you there. So right now, it just looks like a gazebo sitting on a piece of land, which is what it is. But by May 1st, it's going to look better, so you'll be surprised if you come out. Let's see. The Community Choice Foundation selected Jackson County Animal Shelter for their Give Big grant. It's a $400 grant, but we were really grateful and appreciate them recognizing Jackson County Animal Shelter for the work that we do in the community. So here's the comparison. As you know, every year since 2018 or 19, our numbers have been steadily going up in everything from intake to clinic services to adoptions. And I feel like in 2025, hopefully it's starting to level out a little bit. When we made our addition to the shelter, we only made it so big, and I think we're at our capacity of what we can really do as far as taking in more animals. So hopefully that's leveling out and will become steady from here on out, so we shall see. And then there's just kind of a rundown on what kind of animals are coming into the shelter. You can see that in 2024, we had just an unrealistic, I mean, it's unbelievable amount of cats that came in that year. It was a very big cat year. And that was down a little bit, but the dogs were up in 2025. So that's kind of where we're at on everything. I think everything's going pretty well, and we have a good team over there that works really hard. Is there any questions?
Committee members, commissioners, any questions? Chairman Shotwell.
Lydia, I want to thank you for your volunteer program. I've had some people use it for therapy when they realized they could not bring a new animal into their home, but they've been able to come out and spend an afternoon setting and dealing with their feelings, with the loss of their animal and where they're at in their lives. And I really appreciate that. That whole program is something to really be proud of. I think that I just know that people are getting their kitty fixes and being able to walk dogs when they know they can't actually take one into their home because of different reasons, whether it's personal health issues or it's the fact that they're changing, their life is changing now and they don't know what to do. So I want to thank you for that. It's been a very good program.
Thank you, I appreciate that.
No other questions. Be looking for a motion to receive the report. Moved by Bear, supported by Walls. All in favor, say aye. All opposed, passes unanimously. Thank you, Lydia. Have a
Thanks.
great day.
You have a great day, too.
We will move to the Public Defender MIDC 2027 budget. Mr. Rogers is here. I understand you had a lot to deal with this morning, sir.
There was quite a lot, and the hits rather kept coming, and I, being a public forum, I won't publicly say what was going on. It was deeply personal and also affected the office as well, so full spectrum. Thank you for your patience. I appreciate it. So as I've laid out, we've had to kind of pull back our deadline. MIDC released the information to us that they would be expecting our budget to be completed a full month before its ordinary date. We did our very best to do that, and I think that we're pleased with what we've put before you. We would ask that it be placed on the agenda with the recommendation to approve.
Committee members, are there any questions? None. I'd be looking for a motion to forward to the full board with recommendation of approval. Moved by Bear, supported by Walls. Any discussion? Seeing none, if you'd please post the vote.
Passes unanimously.
Thank you, sir. You have a good day.
Thank you.
Yeah. Better day. All right. That'll take us to the Jackson County Department of Transportation, who has a host of items today, but we'll start with Act 51 certification. Good morning, Angela.
Good morning. Okay, so the first item is our Act 51. That's our annual certification for our road mileage, so we get our check every month.
Pretty standard. Any questions, committee members? If not, I'd be looking for a motion to forward to the full board. All right, moved by Walls, supported by Bear. All in favor, say aye. All opposed, that passes unanimously, which will take us down to item K. Local bridge grant application.
Okay, so we are requesting a resolution to submit the 3 applications that we're allowed to for the year. One is for a replacement of Ben Road. The other is for a rehab of Mill Street. And then the last one is preventive maintenance package for those listed 5 bridges. This is the standard grant program that we go after every year for bridge funding.
Any questions, committee members? Seeing none, I'll put forth the motion to forward it to the full board. Oh, you have a question, Commissioner Bear?
This is all standard stuff that needs to be done. I'd like to make a motion that we approve items K through R and send them all to the board for final approval.
Are you comfortable with that?
Sure, I'll have to do the math, which ones are, tell me what the next item is, but yeah, I'm comfortable.
Is that okay? Okay, I'll withdraw my motion that's on the floor, and you're making a motion to do that?
Yes, I move that items K through item R all be approved at committee and forwarded to the full board with recommendation of approval.
Okay, I'll support that. Any discussion?
One of them, I think, is allowed to be approved here for 15,000.
Which is
Some
diamond-
spray.
saw cutting?
Hold on. The spraying, because it's a 1-year contract for 15,000.
Can you amend your motion, Commissioner Bear?
If there's items that she feels she needs to speak on, I then
Oh,
will withdraw.
No,
mine.
that one is for approval today because it's not it's below the dollar threshold that needs the full board's approval.
Which item was that?
That was the spray, which is item N. Guardrail brush chemical treatment, am I correct?
Yep.
All right, I'd like to amend my motion to eliminate N, if that one needs to be done today.
Okay. So the motion on the floor is for all of them but N, and we'll come back to N. Everyone comfortable with that? Okay. And I will support your amendment. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Passes unanimously. Be looking for a motion to approve item N, 2026 guardrail brush chemical treatment. Moved by Walls,
Support?
supported by Bear. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? That passes unanimously, and that'll take us to the monthly report.
Oh, all right. Monthly report. So the beginning of it is just the standard updates for our projects. The trees are all down. Stump removals are scheduled. The curve sign is ongoing. Our maintenance slide there has our salt usage for the season. I did get notification that I have Henrietta is lower than it actually is. We have Henrietta salt stored at the state garage also, so I'll do the math and update you guys. So what I'm saying is I have some of Henrietta salt in the state amount on that little spreadsheet. So I'll correct it and let you know. Then we have our Q alert summary. We have potholes. We're getting lots of calls about potholes and gravel roads. We're trying to get them done. I believe today the Lakeland is open, so we'll be getting hot mix today to do some patching. And the beginning of April, the hot mix plants are saying they're opening, fingers crossed. So we should be getting the contracted patching crews back in to start patching and help us. The next slide shows our patching amounts. We have been patching holes. In February, we did the 468 tons of cold patch. There were the 2 days that we got some hot patch, but mostly cold patch. For January permits, we have our numbers there, and then just the frost law map showing that frost laws are on for most of the lower peninsula of Michigan. I believe the conversations are happening to take them off sometime this week, but we haven't decided yet. So the next slides, bear with me. I will try to explain it all, go over it. If you have questions as I go, If it's okay with you, I'll answer them as I go through these slides for the funding. So this is a flyer that Cray put together to help with explaining the funding to our constituents. The new funding 2025 package included two different parts. So I'm going to go over the first part, which is the part that's called the neighborhood funds, road funds, or NERF. You'll hear us refer to NERF now. That is this part. So the funding has the marijuana tax money in it, and it has the corporate income tax money in it. That's what makes up this part of the funding. Unfortunately, the CIT, or the corporate income tax money, it's like a waterfall. It has to fill two different pots before it goes into the road funding pot. Because it's a new funding to us, there isn't anyone that can tell us how fast they'll be able to collect that funds to fill those other two pots before it starts filling ours. So we really do not know when those funds will become available. They still don't know how they'll be distributed either for this NERF funding. So then the other part of it, marijuana tax, unfortunately, is being challenged also, so we don't know how that will end up. But as of right now, this is how the funding, so our part one of funding is the CIT and the marijuana taxes. Once those pots get filled, it goes into the 1.1 billion of the neighborhood roads fund, and then that goes through the formula. It has the off the tops there of the local bridge funding, the grant separation, different programs they have to fund. And then it gets split into the different communities. This is different than our normal distribution. The counties actually get 52%, which is different than normal MTF. It's usually 39%. Once the counties get their money, then it splits into the local and primary. Most townships are calling us thinking that this fund, because it's called the neighborhood fund, they think it's all local road money. It's not. 25% of this funds is for local roads. 75% is for primary roads still. Now it is unique because it doesn't require the local match for that amount that comes into this pot. We can ask for it, but we can't require it. So I guess the points that I have over on the side, remember that the CIT has to fill the priority 1 and 2 before it starts filling our bucket. The wholesale marijuana tax is still being challenged. The bold says 52% and 39%, because that's a good thing. We get more money out of this one than the state does. But the bottom line is we don't know when we're getting this funding. Right now they're saying the earliest 27. First quarter 27 for this pot.
Okay. Well, I would go with the first question of, it sounds like a lot of money, but those of us that have watched your presentations knows how far that would go, which isn't, it wouldn't meet all the needs of all the townships. So with those not requiring a match, have you started thinking about like who would be priority? Is it an application process? What we're going to do on that?
So we have, again, it's only potentially like 1.5. I used round numbers, but 1.5 for the local in 27. We are throwing around and we're doing some calculations to present to you guys, I think in a study session, I think you want me to come with it, to show you different options.
Okay.
March? This is March. Hopefully May, because I believe with spring break, April would be hard. But so May, hopefully Jim and Charlie and I will be up here talking with you, explaining, because there's different thoughts. You can do a formula, kind of like an MTF formula, based on the mileage each township has. But then that doesn't take in population, so then you can do with population. Or what we're looking at, and we want to, right now, if you were to ask me today, what I would recommend is to make chip seal 100% JCDOT funded. So they're still doing programs with the skip paving and paying those, but then we can cover chip seal countywide everywhere, because that's the preventative maintenance fix that we have to use that to get our road system to last. So we'll present those different options We'll also check with other counties to see what they're presenting to their boards, which we have been doing, but before we bring that to you with recommendations, because we do have to update our county policy.
All right, yeah, I'd just be interested, because I know that's not enough to hit all the townships, and
No,
somebody's gonna feel, left out.
no, but 1.5 million will do, how many miles of chip seal? We calculate 35, about 35 miles, but it will let us do about a 10, 11 year,
When you
9-10 year
okay, so
rotation.
when you say 35 miles of what? Chip seal? Okay. All right.
but it gets us on a rotation, because we've always sat here saying we need to keep chip seal up. It gets us on that, I think it was a 10 or 11 year rotation without any other funding getting put into it for locals, so.
Okay, I'll talk to you a little more after
Yeah.
the meeting. Just,
Yeah, we have ideas. We'll talk with you guys, and then we'll have to update our local policy before 27 potentially. If it starts to look earlier, which I would love, then we'll have to do it before then, but. So that's the NERF funding.
Question.
Uh-huh,
So townships aren't precluded from contributing to a program.
no,
So we could have a grant program with a match, not a requirement, but when you have to make a determination, if somebody wants to, we do 5 and they wanted to add another 5 miles of road, we could do that.
yes.
Okay.
Yes, we want to continue having the millages that are out there. That's a big thing. If we don't have those millages, the local system will fall apart.
Understand. Thank you.
Sorry. All right, so on to part 2. The gas tax swap. So when they passed this funding, they took the 600 million of income tax out the day it was passed. So since September 30th, we have been losing money, which has not really got out in the press much. But they replaced it come January 1 with an increase in gas tax, the 21-cent increase in gas tax. So I'm going to say it again. September 30th, they took the redirected income tax away and didn't replace it until January 1. So JCDOT, we're still final numbers, but I think it's about a $2 million loss we had over those 3 months. We just got our check, so I'm not exactly sure, but about $2 million is what we lost, that we will not get back for the last 3 months. So it's that first bullet point, the 600 million in redirected income tax that was in the 2015 funding got taken away, and then the new funding didn't go into play until January 1. I don't know why I typed January 2 there. I think I have a typo. I don't think we skipped January 1.
And is there a lag time on that funding that started effective January 1?
Yes. So the next slide in here, there's that letter, and there's always a lag time with the gas tax. So our first payment will not be until they'll get the money the end of this month. So our April check is when we'll see that first payment for recouping.
So from a cash flow standpoint, it's not 3 months, it's 6 months. Or no?
Yeah, when you look at cash flow, yes.
Yeah, well, I
Yep.
do. I look at
Because
cash flow
MTF's
closely.
3 months behind always. So yes, we'll.
Thank you.
Yes. So going through this, it just shows that the gas tax swap, everything off the top comes off, and then they do the traditional formula where the counties just get the 39% of the funding. But the bottom line is, it is an increase. It's just not as fast as everyone thought. For this funding, they're predicting that we'll get I'm jumping ahead. I need to get to the next slide. So let's see. I think I covered everything on this slide. We'll go to the next one. So this letter was just because a lot of counties, for some reason, we always thought it would be our April 1 check, but a lot of counties were thinking they would have got it this month, which we just got the check last week. That's why they sent this letter out. But basically, first check with any new money would be April 1. And then that the counties are reporting a 16 to 19% loss because of that. 600 million taxes that was shut off come the end of the fiscal year. So when we go to what does this mean for us for 2026? And you go to the part 1 NERF, I just go over how the money comes in to all the counties. They took and calculated the percent each county was of the total MTF. Jackson County gets 1.7135% of that total. And that's how they then come up with how much we're going to get over the 8 months of new funding. Now, I left their source here because when you do the math, it's not penny to penny right. There's rounding errors in there, and I don't know. It's just the money, the dollar amount they reported to us that we'd be getting. What else? Any questions on this slide? I covered most of it on the first couple slides, but again, NERF, we don't know when we're getting it, so no guarantee is there. Part 2 slide, that's the money that we will be getting come start April. I don't know, we don't know how it will come each month, if it's a bigger, smaller, whatever, but over the 8 months, the increase that we should get this year is just that $225,000. Not much, considering we lost $2 million at the end of last year. No. Nope. So
That's a point worth noting, you know, I mean, I've heard all this, people thumping their chests up in Lansing that they're gonna fix the roads and send us all this new money, and here we are, gonna be 1 year in, and we're gonna be 1.8 million short of what we would have had otherwise. That should be noted.
yeah. And I know that the lobbyist, CRA, is screaming it as loud as they can to everyone. We actually talked to Senator Shink's office Friday, going over it with her so she could understand it, and told her if she has any questions to call us and we will explain as much as we can to her. But yes, it's not out there in the public as much as it should, because we're getting calls from townships residents wanting us to fix the roads because we got all this money and we don't have any money yet. And this year we won't get much. So that is the bottom line of where the funding stands. The next steps for this, we need to update our local funding program. We do have to bring the equipment plan. We have an equipment plan that my team worked on, and we were hoping to bring it before now because we thought we'd have funding this year. So once we knew the funding, we could bring roads and equipment to you so you could see. We're updating that because it's got to be moved out a year, reprioritizing what equipment needs to be prioritized, and then we'll bring that to a study session, I believe. And then our capital improvement plan. Again, that will not be a list of roads that we're going to go pave. Unfortunately, it will be more like earmarks for the type of project, because you have to evaluate the road shortly, like after winter. Right now, we're evaluating roads to pick to do our skip paving and chip seal on for this year, because roads blow out in the winter and we can't predict which ones are going to do it. So to do the right roads, we need to earmark funds and then pick the roads in the springtime after the blowout. Because the majority of our new funding will have to, for the first couple of years, be doing those preventive maintenance fixes to get over a bigger Band-Aid on our system before we start drilling down and doing the reconstructs. And then we need to amend our budget when we know more on timing, when funds will be coming available for the 27 budget. Questions?
Committee members, any questions? Just if I can, okay, Commissioner Bear.
Not a question on your report. It's, thank you for the report. Thank you for the financial analysis. That's very needed. I just have a general question, and I'm only asking you because it came up most recently with your department, but this question should apply to every department. When a citizen taxpayer comes to you and asks for something, and you say, well, our policy doesn't allow that, you should be able to email them, text them, or print and hand to them a copy of the policy that they are supposedly quoting. If it's not a written policy, then it's not an enforceable policy. It's only what did one individual in the organization state. And again, I say this applies to every department, but it happened most recently in yours. So it came about, all the commissioners have received an email about a request to put up a sign and a statement by one of your staff that, after initially being supportive, eventually called back and said, no, we can't do that, it's against our policy. And when the person said, can you give me a copy of the policy, they can't seem to produce it. So if you have a policy, without naming names, do you know the situation I'm talking about?
I believe so. And I believe the conversation was a phone call, and I'm not sure he used the term policy. He said, we do not permit that. And we do not permit it. That's not policy, it's permitting.
Okay. This individual's frustration was that nobody's been able to give her a copy of the policy so they can read it
Yeah.
themselves, other than just a statement from one individual that we can't because of a policy.
So there's not a policy. We follow the manual, and the manual does not allow it. We are required, our funding requires us to follow the manual, the Michigan Uniform Traffic Control Devices. And that does not allow signs that are not for traffic regulation and safety.
Okay. So whatever
State law.
that policy.
The manual, it's adopted by the state, yeah.
So whatever that policy you're just referencing, can you forward a
It's
copy
not
to this
our
person?
policy. It's the state's manual that's adopted by the state. I
Can you
forward
send
that.
Commissioner Bear a link to that state manual?
Yep.
Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. It will be a link though, because it is a thick document, so you'll just have to click on it. No, you have to interpret, it's an engineering guidance for how you install signs and what's allowed, so you'll have to interpret the text. I can point you to the sections that you'll want to read, I guess.
Yes, to me and to this individual, could you tell us how we can, if that document is accessible on the internet, how do we get to that document?
Yeah, I'll send you the link to get to it.
Thank you. Commissioner Pulaski.
Thank you for the courtesy, Mr. Chair. I guess the first thing is maybe more of an IT issue. I'm having trouble downloading the PDF of the monthly report that I normally send that out to my townships, but especially this one because it has a lot of good information to it. I'm having trouble downloading it. So
Okay.
I'll just get on IT, well, I'm sure will help me out. The other two things, one thing is the status of the bridges out in my area. The Hanover Road Bridge is under construction, I think, but I guess I'd like to know more precisely because I'll get questions tonight for sure. And then also the Albion Road Bridge, the status of those two bridges.
Okay, can we email you that? We'll have to,
If
Oh,
you
you
can
know
do it,
both?
if you can do it today, that'd be wonderful because I'll
Never
get
mind, Charlie
grilled to-
knows. He'll
Yeah,
come up.
Okay, perfect.
Hanover Road Bridge, they got the beams set. They're going to pour the deck this week or next week, depending on the weather. They're going to hope to have it open to traffic May 1st is what they're aiming for. And Albion Road Bridge is in the April bid letting for MDOT. So April 3rd is when we'll have the bids open for that project.
Okay, with construction next year, is that right?
That'd be construction for this year, falling into next year.
So it'll start sometime
Yep,
this year then?
start sometime this
Okay.
year
All right,
for Albion next year.
yeah.
Yep.
That's the one where I get more questions. There's a lot more traffic.
Yeah, we just went out there a couple weeks ago and cut all the trees down in preparation for that project.
Okay, good. Yeah, I get, those are, when I go in my townships, that's where I get grilled. So thanks very much for the update. Thank you, Mr. Chair, for the chance to ask a question.
You're welcome. Angie, if I could just talk to you after the meeting real quick.
Yep.
Commissioner Walls.
I just have, because I have a lot of township meetings this week as well, I want to do some quick bullet points. I want to make sure I have the information correct.
Okay.
So on 9/30, there was a takeaway of monies, and we lost $2 million.
Approximately 2 million, yeah. It was, yeah. That's a good-
Okay, and the new funding didn't go into effect until 1/21, so the first payment will come April of 26 with a 6-month lag time on the cash flow. Okay? In Michigan, counties are predicting a 16 to 19% loss as of 3/26. And we will be, Jackson County will be $1.8 million short.
So the 16 to 19%, that was what, for those 3 months at the end of the year,
Okay,
that most counties are 2 million, but most counties are reporting 16 to 19%. So that's the same time frame for the loss.
yeah, just a lot of our general public's not gonna read this whole document. My supervisors will look at it, but I just wanna be able to give them a quick
Yep.
overview.
Yep. And what was the last bullet point you read after that?
We'll be $1.8 million short.
Yeah, total, that's what is predicted because of our 2 million we lost in those last 3 months, and then we're only increasing the 250, yep.
And then what would be a good comment, as far as that NERF, we're really not sure. That's gotta kind of play itself out before we're gonna see what kind of money we're gonna get, correct?
I have not heard them waver on the amount, it's just the timing.
Timing, thank you.
Okay. If no more questions, be looking for a motion to receive the report. So moved. Moved by Bear,
Support.
supported by Walls. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, passes unanimously. Thank you. I'll talk to you shortly.
Okay, thank you.
Yep. Takes us to item 5A, other business. Be looking for a motion to pay the claims. So moved. Moved by Bear,
Support.
supported by Walls. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, say aye. All opposed, passes unanimously. Takes us to item 6, the second opportunity for public comment. Is there any public comment? Any public comment? Last opportunity for public comment. Seeing none, public comment is closed. Takes us to item 7, committee member comments. Are there any committee member comments? Seeing none, meeting is adjourned.